And then this is what he says, but sin lieth at the door, and its desire is for you. What is the door? The door of your mind, the door of your heart. Sin lieth at the door. There's always something there that wants to get into your thoughts, get into your heart. Well, what are you talking about, preacher? Well, I'll tell you what, laziness lies at the door to a lot of you, and a lot of you have opened the door and let it come in. Whether it's laziness, whether it's anger. Anger wants to get in. There are times in your life something comes up and you get so angry about it, you better keep the door closed, buddy. You better close the door because it wants in. Whether it's anger, whether it's jealousy, whether it's envy, whether it's lust, there are all sorts of things crouching at the door, wanting to get in. And here's what you need to understand. When you open the door, when you let it in, it will grow. It will fester. And here's something else you need to understand. Whatever is on the inside, eventually, one day will manifest itself on the outside. Whatever is on the inside will manifest itself on the outside. If you open the door to anger, you open the door to dishonesty, you open the door to jealousy, you open the door to lust, you open all of these doors and you let that stuff come in and you let it mill around in your mind and in your heart, it is going to come out sooner or later. You can rest assured. Sin lieth at the door, and it has a desire for you. But what does he say? He says, you are supposed to rule over it. Do you rule over what you allow into your heart and into your mind? Those of you that have a tendency to laziness, you need to rule over that. You need to conquer that stuff. It may be there the rest of your life, but you need to understand, when you open the door to it, you can become as worthless as anybody you've ever seen, because it will take over your life. Jealousy, anger, lust, whatever it may be, it can take over your life, but you must rule it. Because if you don't, it will start to change you, and it will start to deform you into its own image. You know, you can become a very angry person, where you have just angry thoughts all the time about folks. You can become a very jealous person. You can become a very envious person. You can become a very lustful person. When you open that door and your mind starts working and you become a very lustful person. Be very careful what you open the door to. Because when it starts to grow and it starts to manifest itself in you, then you become a malevolent person. And that is when you start to think, I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to act on that. And you have Cain. You have two brothers, twins, with the whole world that they could live in. But anger got a hold of Cain. Jealousy got a hold. Envy got a hold of him. And I guess he did it with a rock or a stick, but somehow or another, he walks up behind his brother and delivers a fatal blow. Now let me tell you this. You might think, well, I would never murder anybody. But I'll tell you what, you can murder in a lot of different ways. Some of you have murdered your parents' trust in you. Some of you have murdered whether people look at you as somebody that's a truthful person or not. You can murder people in a lot of different ways. Have you ever murdered a relationship? And here's something else. Most of the time when we commit murder, it's usually done to the people that love us the most. You murder your parents' trust in you. All they want is the best for you, and you go behind their back and just murder that trust. You can do that with teachers. You can do it for, you ever killed a friendship? Murdered somebody because you lied about them or you gossiped about them? Yeah, it's real funny, isn't it? You'll think it's funny when it happens to you. There's nothing funny about what I'm talking about because it happens all the time. And the fact that you're smiling, you're probably thinking of somebody you've already murdered. Maybe that's what you're thinking right there. Not funny what we're talking about today. Talking about how you can murder your relationships. You can murder a relationship with your brother, with your sister, with your mom, with your grandparents, and it's not a funny thing. Nothing funny about it. Yet people do it every day. Cain and Abel. It's not two brothers that lived 6,000 years ago. It's you and you and you and your family. That's what I'm talking about. Because you let the door open to emotions that have grown up within you and already caused you to commit murder.